I'd say it is loud.
It's really energetic.
Let's go, boys! Good fucking shit!
Fast, competitive, and fun.
The energy's amazing. The people, the community. I mean, it's all banner. It's all fun.
It's very inclusive. There's a lot of diversity here. A lot of female gamers.
I just love hearing all the excitement around the room.
Hey, good shit. Balls on short 8-9.
It's interesting to see how other people play and just look at kind of everyone's setup.
Esports is like a sport, but on the internet. A bunch of people who play video games that want to be on a team to play competitively as a group.
It makes that faster.
It's just kind of looked at as, oh, you can't play real sports, so you try to get good at this thing that's not really a sport. If you can think about like chess, you know, you're battling your minds against one another, who can outthink the other opponent. Esports work in a very similar way.
Game hard.
Hey, nice try. Hey, keep that. Hey, keep doing that.
Esports is still very new, and is in that state of it's catching on with more people. You know, half of the global population plays video games. More than half the population plays video games, but that doesn't mean you're involved in esports.
Where?
I think no matter your race, your gender, your color, like it's video games. Anyone can be good at it.
Nice. Nice.
We don't get necessarily the same type of catering and prioritization that a traditional sport would, like scholarships and tutors and that kind of things, but at the end of the day, we're all students and we're still competing under a team, and just because it's online doesn't necessarily mean it's not something that should be considered similar.
Oh my God! First of all, we're not a program. We are a student club. We don't get funding directly dedicated to us from the university. There are lots of programs, even at large state schools like Ole Miss and Kentucky, that get money directly to their teams to recruit, to host events, to provide scholarships for their players. We don't get any of that.
A few of my friends go to school up in the Northeast and they play on their team. I know that their school's more accepting, like they get scholarships through it. They have a whole lab for it. Like their school's very accepting. Maybe UTK is not as, they haven't really fully recognized where they could profit from esports.
We rely a lot on just your passion for the game and your passion to want to play, and we do that. They still practice. Our teams practice multiple nights a week. They compete multiple nights a week. They travel. They do all the things that a lot of regular sports does and club sports does, just as a student club.
Let's fucking go, Nick! Hey, give me that ball.
So I am the current president of UTK Esports. It's a club for everybody. It's not just a club it is the esports club, but we're really just the home for all things gaming on campus. And so that means that we do have like a lot of more casual people, and some of the best events are just our bi-weekly game nights where we have people just come and enjoy very casual games like Jackbox or Mario Kart.
One enemy remaining.
Oh my God! Holy shit!
Probably all of my friends that I have right now are from the club, and it just teaches things outside of the game as well, like teamwork, that kind of thing, have really helped me as a person.
I remember my first time going into a lab for a in-person practice. I've never met my teammates in person, so like I've always had this picture in my head about what they looked like, and then I met them, and the first day I walked into that lab, I was sitting next to a guy who looked like a bodybuilder on my right, and a guy next to me who looked like he doesn't go out much, and it's so cool to see the diverse in my team. Like, you wouldn't picture us to all hang out. It's really cool.
Relax.
Playing collegiate, you see a lot of different schools. You play a different amount of schools. Some schools prioritize esports more than others. Some schools have full scholarship teams. Some are just clubs like us, but It doesn't really matter what the school does for these sports. All the teams are similar to ours, and it's just a good community for friends and people to compete.
Esports is a huge hobby, but school always comes first. I just got accepted into the master's school here for computer science. I've just always found that I've been able to strike a good balance where I can do my schoolwork pretty efficiently and get done and still have time to spend 40 hours every now and again just grinding out games and stuff like that. It's fun.
I think the balance is pretty easy. I think it's kind of funny because me and my team always talk about how we're all engineers and none of us should be on this team because none of us have time. But it's one of those things where you make time because you enjoy it. The only clubs I'm really involved with on school is UTK Esports, and then I'm part of a engineering sorority for women in STEM.
My family is actually very supportive. There's been times where they pull up my games that I'm streaming on the main TV when we're playing like other colleges and that kind of thing. I didn't really get my start into online gaming until I played things with my dad on Xbox. I played things like Halo and Gears of War with him, and I guess that's really where I got my competitive start.
But my mom loves it. She thinks it's really cool, especially because I'm a woman, and she's like, it's a man-dominated area. She thinks it's really cool that I'm putting myself out there.
Volan is a regional tournament where we invite schools from many different states to come and compete in our games like Valorant, Overwatch, and Rainbow Six. And it's a huge regional tournament for Super Smash Brothers and Guilty Gear, where people are going to be coming from all over the nation to try to earn points for their various leagues.
2, 1, and hold on.
We stole the idea. It's not an original idea. The University of Georgia in 2018 hosted something called Dog Hack. It was bring your own PC down to Athens. They had a conference room and play some stuff. And we went, we're the University of Tennessee. We should be able to do that. Come on. Can't let Georgia upstage us. That led to the first iteration of this. And so now we're on our third iteration of it, and it's very unique in college LAN space. As I said, we don't have a facility. We don't have an arena to host this sort of thing in. We don't have a room with 50 PCs that can do this sort of thing. So we're sort of stuck with what we've got. And so we've decided it's going to stay for a while, BYOPC, invite everyone within driving distance willing to bring their own stuff to campus, and we'll fit as many as we can fit in the building.
Volan has tons of different games, tons of different teams. Pretty much whatever game you get involved in, you'll be competing against at least 50 other players. So everybody's compacted into one big ballroom. So it's a nice environment to compete in. A lot of the people that you're playing against are inside the same room as you are, if not everyone, so it's a really competitive environment. I mean, there's some banter involved, but for the most part, it's friendly.
Except for the people that are losing, right? Yeah, if you're losing, there's a few of them.
Losers gotta do better, They're just...
At Volan, it's definitely way better than just competing in my room. We scrim, we play games, we play against other schools all the time, but being at Volan is different. I felt like I played better. Mostly because I can see my team, we do our fist bumps, it's a great atmosphere, you play better in that situation.
One more, baby.
I've been thinking about it for 2 weeks straight, how excited I am to be here and see everybody. I am someone that likes to walk up and greet people and be able to be a part of this community. And yeah, it's just a great time even if you're a spectator.
I imagine a world in which Volan will be sort of the premier LAN event in the Southeast one day. I really do hope that we can continue Volan for generations so that eventually someday we have alumni coming back and saying, I competed there. I hope even when all of us are long graduated, when you guys are all long graduated, when I'm long gone being an advisor, it's still running. and still going strong.
Dude, I can't hit a shot for shit, bro.